Another thing you're talking about, maybe I just the Art Institute type of education versus, say, the liberal arts. I think I already know your answer, but I think you would. Maybe I don't want to answer for you, but
go ahead.
Well, I just feel that you think that it's more important to be well-rounded and have a broad base of knowledge. And you talked about English and psychology and philosophy and aesthetics and so on. Plus, if you're going to be an art type person, I think you need art training as well. But sometimes they have Kansas City Art Institute or Chicago Art Institute. Sometimes I think those schools tend to eliminate the roundness and create pretty narrow people as artists, and yet they seem to be the ones that have all the ability. They seem to know where all the galleries are and they get all the publicity. I mean,
well, for myself, I had very little training in art. Maybe I had a course at East Central called Design, and then one watercolor painting, and then the drawing class without an instructor. And then at Columbia, I had one course in oil, some studio course. I had one in drawing, and that was a very fast drawing. I had you asked a question a while ago about professors who were inspiring. I had a professor at Columbia, a woman, who was of a Russian background. She was an artist also, but she was a naturalistic painter. A great intellect, no end to her appreciation, understanding, and knowledge of art. And the summer classes there, a room this size might have 60 students and 80 students, elbow to elbow. And one day I was leaving, when we were leaving class, she said, "Oh, Mr. Smith, I have to apologize to you. I don't think I answered your questions fully, because most of the students are not interested in." I thought, "Oh, so different minds from theirs." And then I thought back, well, I'd never have asked her how to draw an ear or an eye or how to draw a hand. Perhaps I was asking her about color and composition and line and space. That's the abstract, really abstract element in the art. So she says, I'm getting this, says I could be wrong, but from your questions, I have the feeling that you should see the Gallatin collection down at NYU. I had no idea what it was going to be. I said, well, would it be convenient for you to meet me there? She said, yes, because my studio is in the Shelter Hotel in just a few blocks. So she met me there. And mostly art, Brian Cousy and Mondrian. And she says, these are the greatest artists in the world today, the most advanced. And she understood what they were doing. She talked to me several hours about that. And I understood immediately. And I knew that she had read me correctly. And I never had that happen to anybody else in my life, and I thought that was somewhat miraculous, that she was able to read me so well. And at the same time, that she just happened to be the right person, to give me what I was needing. Without that, I don't know what could have ever happened to me. I hope that I wouldn't have turned out to have been abstract expression.
I'm kind of hoping.
And let's take a break. Another day get drink of water before we do that.
Raul just finished. With what? Right.
That was my professor at Columbia.
Yes. I know I look back and there's a few people that were the same kind of key person. And like you were talking about, they're almost like, where did this light come from? Why do I serve this person at this time in my life and look back? You ever think you're that kind of person for other people?
Well, I certainly hope so. Have no way of knowing. Oh, there's a woman here who came out. I called her as soon as she came in because she had called me a few months ago from Kennedy Airport on her way to China, and she said that she studied with me in the 6th grade at Fifthtown. And then she wrote me a letter when she came back, and she asked me to call her when it. And I did, and she came out, and we had a glass of tea or something and talked. And she said, "Well, you know, you were so different from any teacher I had." I said, "What do you mean that I was different?" She said, "Well, you created an atmosphere where learning seemed to be easy and fun." And she said she had never been had another teacher who had art every day.
You never had the 6-shooter on your sign book,
no, not exactly that.
You thought that was great. I always thought that's a teacher should have told you. I finally got an even way to get into classes.
He's a very good teacher.
How much drawing do you do at this point? Do you still draw a lot as preliminary to what you do, or how does it even fit into what you do if you do draw?
Oh, I don't do preliminary drawing. I haven't done preliminary drawing for painting. 50 years. Until my last show, which I had in January and February, all of last year, and part of the year before that, I was so busy with big exhibitions and going, and that I didn't get a chance to paint as much as I wanted to, but I did quite a lot of drawing. And I found a dozen or so drawings that I felt that should become painting. And the last 12 or 14 paintings I did, which were in my show, all came from drawing. For approximately 30 years before that, my original drawing was on the canvas. And then after the painting was done, I might do variations on that in her drawing. But painting comes first, the drawing, or the painting on the canvas. And I would stretch a canvas, hang a canvas on the wall, and sit down and look at it. I looked at it again like, although it was completely blank, it was like looking for the Rochelle. Should I do it? It's so beautiful. Should I run the risk of ruining it, or just leave it as it is? And then something seemed to almost come on it. I would see something, and I'd go that line down. Of course, this was after my paintings had become so simplified that they just the canvas divided into two parts practically. On one side be one color, and on the other side be another color. But as this line came down through there, it seemed like a long time moving over that canvas, and to come this way seemed like almost like going into space, way out. And then I began to feel the pressure coming in here, and then it seemed the pressure's coming far enough that way. I feel a counter pressure coming, and so the line would come this way. That sort of thing. But then the computer would interpret these forces into color. And by the time I got to the bottom of the canvas, I'd know what color I was going to use. If I used that color not once, was it wrong? If I said, well, I've used this color before, I would start intellectualizing. I'd like to try such and such color. Usually I'd have to do the painting over, destroy it.
How often, you talked about not getting a chance to paint. How much time do you get to paint on an average week?
Oh, I paint whenever I want to. Mostly, and I don't paint if I don't want to. I never did. Just because I'm an artist, that means I've got to prove it by going into the studio every day. I paint when I have to paint, and I have had to destroy very few paintings because they didn't turn out right. I always had artist friends that say, well, are you painting now since your show? No, I haven't gotten back to it yet. I'm still wondering now just what direction I'm going to take after the show, and I haven't decided yet what I'm going to do. And then other times artists say, what did you paint today? Yes, I did, but I ruined the painting. I said, that's because you didn't have to paint today. You should have been doing something else. Plenty in life to do with that painting all the time.